Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gore Column, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. Artificial intelligence is on the minds of all investors right now. In fact, we can't look anywhere without seeing it in front of us. So small cap investors are searching for real AI stories out there. And if record contracts, record quarterly financials, record guidance for the next quarter, what you're looking for, you're going to love this interview with Rob Anson, the CEO of Fobi AI, trades in Canada under FOBI, trades in the US under FOBIF. For those who knew the story, they're doing this as a global leader. How they're applying AI is they're a global leader in digital wallet pass technology that uses artificial intelligence to deliver real-time, that's real-time data analytics. That what does it do? Drives real-time customer activation and engagement, like right inside, I mean, online for sure in e-commerce, but right inside in the real world, stores, stadiums, arenas, hotels, and all other large venues around the world. And that's why their record Q3 came in at $1.255 million, up 300% year over year, and 150% sequentially. That's quarter to quarter. And they've also given Q4 guidance that projects another $1.5 million. So the company isn't just walking the walk, they're talking the talk. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. And that's important because so many investors are trying to figure out what's the difference between GeorgeCom AI, take a shot for everybody who says, take a shot when I say GeorgeCom, but what's the difference between GeorgeCom AI and real AI companies like Fobi? And their customers include BevWorks, where they just signed a record $10 million 5-year contract, the Oscars, NASDAQ, NCAA, partners, TELUS, Amazon. By the way, I'm just giving you 2 or 3 in each one of these categories. Partners are TELUS, Amazon Web Services, Oracle, integrations, Lightspeed, Shopify, you name it, and multiple acquisitions. The headline we're talking about, Fobi AI mid-year update includes $1 million CEO investment, record Q3 revenue, Q4 guidance, continued M&A success, and global brand exposure from epic finish at the RBC Canadian Open. Rob, let's talk about it, buddy. Welcome back.
Hey, George, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I know that intro sometimes takes a lot, but you're the longest intro we have because you got so much going on, right? And we're gonna go through all these elements. Here's a question I have for you. How strong is Fobi right now? Because what stands out for me is you're bucking the trend of all small caps right now. Revenues, financing, insider buying, all of it. How strong is the company, man?
Well, we've got a great deal of confidence. Obviously we've been through some pretty volatile markets the last 3 years, of course, but we've done a great job of just sticking to our story. We've kind of went, I don't want to say dark, but we've really made a great focus on downsizing, or pulling back, if you will, as to some of the news releases, and just focus on delivering numbers. The contracts, I don't have to, come on, no offense here, or my platform to talk about how great the company is. We've got a large following, good, bad, or indifferent. I said it's just always at the end of the day anyways about deliverables, and the company's now in a position, as you stated, of record revenues, guidance. We're in a position of commercialization. We spent the first 2.5 years, George, as you know, 85% tech driven. We made subsequent acquisitions in many different verticals and components within our business. That's where we were focused. We built out a very broad, category of catalog, I guess I should say, as to use cases. People never like that. Where's the revenues? Where's the revenues? Well, when you're driving new technology, there's a lot of variables with market readiness, of course, budget allocation. We did a great job of putting our stuff out there and getting in front of, global audience, like you've stated in our intro. And now we're knocking those down left, right, and center.
Let's talk about the first thing I want to talk about is this. Look, there are some small cap companies out there that are doing decently. They're hard to find. They're doing decently. But the one thing that stands out is you're the one CEO that's putting his money where his mouth is. You've invested $1 million into Fobi year to date. So we're sitting here in mid-June and you're already $1 million invested into Fobi. Why are you doing it? I know the answer may be simple. It could be, but I think there's more to it. Why are you doing it? And more importantly, what's the signal you're sending to the market and maybe to your customers and partners and potential partners and customers around the world that you're 100% all in?
Well, I am 100% all in. I mean, I have been since day one. I've done everything I can here to support the company. As I said, I think our team has done a tremendous job of keeping their head down, and I think that confidence obviously starts at the top and makes its way through the rest of our system and our teams. And, we're the strongest we've ever been right now. We went why I invested, of course, because of the discount. I mean, this is a huge opportunity to invest down these prices here. I don't think we see these for very long. I think the market obviously is not going to stay here forever. I want to not just take advantage of myself personally, but turn dollars wherever I can. I'm very happy to reinvest in the company at any given point where I'm allowed to and able to. I think that the market obviously takes notice and sleeps better knowing that I am all in, of course, and reinvesting every penny I can back into the company. Obviously, it extends our run rate and cash flow positions as well. We've been very, very conservative as to monies raised in the last 2 years. A lot of people don't understand or appreciate, I think, the monies that it takes to commercialize projects like this. And if you put us against a lot of our competitors that we're not only competing against in RFPs but beating, it is quite impressive.
And so the differentiator there has got to be, look, you're an AI visionary, right? You were talking about AI long before 99% of the world never even thought about it, except for some futuristic technology that I saw in a Will Smith movie and a Tom Cruise movie, but nobody thought about it. And here you are today, you've positioned the company with big wins. Let's face it, we don't have to go over them. The numbers are there, the announcements are there. How big of a role is that initial AI thinking, investing, development playing in your success right now? And then maybe as a follow to that, how are you going to improve your AI even more going forward now that it's become more ubiquitous?
Well, I think as you read in the press release with Colby's quote, consultative, that's a big approach for us because you're selling new technologies that people aren't comfortable with. They don't understand. That's why you see a lot of things are very slow to move in a lot of industries because people love comfort zones. That's a downfall of a lot of, human beings, I would say, in society today is everyone's comfortable in their four little walls and likes to stay in their bubble. And as they say, all the good things happen when you live and play outside that. So I think a great deal part of what we do, George, is identify where a lot of my approach is always listening. How can I solve a problem for you? Your biggest thing is how can I work less and make more? And that's where the world of automation and AI comes in. So that approach there, being able to streamline their operation, drive operational efficiencies, drive better customer experience because of the utilization of data real time, as you said, that true real time application is the game changer for us.
You're talking about, yes, on the one hand, you're right. Most of us want to sit inside our comfort zones, but true or false, isn't artificial intelligence pushing us all out of our comfort zones? I don't think there's any CEO out there, any enterprise, any small and medium-sized business that can say, well, we'll hold off on AI and what it can do for my business. So if I'm right, and tell us if maybe I might be wrong, everyone wants to hear what you think. What's that doing for your pipeline? What's that doing for the incoming? Because you talked about before that you're at a point now where it's just incoming coming in. What's AI doing to push your pipeline?
I think it's, I'll even take it back a step. I mean, we've been able to, as you see, cut our burn rate by nearly 70%. 70%, and I would confidently state that we have 300% more efficiencies with our minimized staff because of all the automation and stuff that's built into our processes. AI is not going to replace the world and everyone. Some cases, yes, of course, as we see today with autonomous delivery and drones and these different things. But really, it's going to replace people that don't embrace artificial intelligence. That's simply it. Those that don't will become irrelevant and replaced. Businesses will fail. They'll become the blockbusters in these transitions to digital, right? And this is where there's great opportunity and excitement. You're always going to have, everyone usually moves very, very slow, George, right? We're very, very active here in Canada. Look how long it's taken us to bring the first introduction of digital proof of insurance in North America, where we've been running that for 3+ years already in Europe. So North America is very reactive when it comes to this. And when it comes quickly, as we see now since the launch of ChatGPT, of one of the big sort of, platforms that people got exposed to back in November. Now it's all we see. You look at companies like Adobe every day that's pushing the dial. I mean, you should see our marketing team and how they live for all of these updates and plugins and stuff and advancements.
Ours too. I got
Yeah, because like I said, it's literally, if I was to start this all over again, or a new business opportunity, I'd probably be able to start with 2 people. And I mean, when I say start, I mean probably have the output of 25, 30. No problem.
Is the insurance entry, entering the insurance business in Canada, does that kind of serve as an indication of the pipeline really starting to accelerate in North America now? And for other, not just insurance, but for other industries, other players?
For sure.
Your inbound phone calls, how are those looking? Because you always get
95% of our business is all inbound lead gen. 95. I mean, it just shows the relevancy of our tech stack. I knew the world was going digital. I knew automation would be a necessity, not just a nice to have. And this is where we're seeing it. The early wins that we did have, and we got very fortunate to land a couple big contracts, of course, as you've seen. And we've been now able to parlay those, because everyone looks at what's everyone else doing. Oh, okay, well, great, they're using FOBIF, so they pick up the phone and call us. So which makes it nice. I mean, we've got a very, very small team, as you know, but we're able to obviously manage. And it's easy to sell something once, George. The real, to me, measurement comes in that renewal, and that's, to me, the biggest excitement is all of the renewals that we're seeing in these enterprise deals. When we purchased Pass Creator, it was a DIY platform. Now it's flipping and becoming, one of the global leading enterprise solutions. So, it speaks very well to the team. Obviously, David and Alex running the show in Germany that are pushing the envelope and doing a fantastic job.
So I wish I could show you my screen so people don't think that this is choreographed, something like that. But I've got a question about DIY, and specifically, I'm saying what I want to ask was, I found it interesting that you're expanding from. I mean, you're going to keep do it yourself, obviously, but you're expanding to enterprise because one thing you always bragged about was how FOBIF is plug and play, right?
Yeah.
It's do yourself plug and play, and that's not going away. But now you're adding enterprise. I've got to imagine run my own business here. That's a lot of work. So there must be really big rewards potentially sitting at the end of that on the enterprise level, because nobody goes from do it yourself to custom, because that's a big change, right, Rob?
Yep.
Unless there are really big opportunities presenting themselves. What can you tell us about
it is
that added focus on enterprise?
For us, it was about automation, automation of services and onboarding, account management, account success management, these sorts of things. Obviously, we've seen the use of chatbots and avatars and whatnot. We've got a lot of exciting new things that are coming to market, George, that help with this. The automation that we've built into our platform is I'd argue it's second to none once you see it. It's something I'm very, very proud of, that, like I said, we can literally onboard very large enterprise clients in about 15 minutes.
Enterprise clients.
Yeah.
In 15 minutes.
Yep. We put a great deal of development and into automation. Automation is what's going to enable us to go to a whole new level with record margins. That's what, to me, why I've been so confident over the years is not just this automation of story and whatnot for the markets, it's how we use it in our own business. And everyone else that sees it now has been blown away by the automation and the value realization, I guess you could say, as to the new platform.
Will we get, maybe, you haven't done this really in the past, but any chance we'll be getting a product spec update, or where you might say, hey, market, by the way, here are some real innovative things that maybe 2 or 3 years ago we would have found boring, but now people are just searching for those kind of innovations.
It's funny you say that, because it amazed me a couple of years ago. I used to get flack for this, believe it or not, that why you guys waste time doing webinars. And I'm like, well, it's because we want to educate our shareholders, one, so they understand what they're investing into, hopefully. And two, we use it as lead generation, because every time, it's whether it's the TELUS channel that gets invited to sit in on these webinars, or all of the CPGs and stuff. I mean, it's how we've gained a lot of clients. For me, I've tried to always provide as much transparency and communication as I can. It always amazes me to people that they just don't want to see it. All they care about is a number, right? And I think it's pretty sad how they live their life, because if you're judging yourself only by a number at the end of the day, you're never going to be happy. I've always been driven and found happiness by progression, and that's what we've done, is slowly progressed as to what I said I would do 3 years ago. We're right where I wanted to be. Well,
that's an unfortunate derivative sometimes of the small cap world, right? Which is people just judge success by a stock price. But the fact,
sorry to interrupt you, but we had someone this morning reach out to us, a shareholder, and he said he's really happy and hopefully that success isn't too far away. So that was my question, was just that, what do you deem as success, right? Because everyone has different ideas. Like I said, we're not going to go to $10 tomorrow. I know that much. We're fighting the fight, and there's a lot of things that, of course, we've dealt with here that we're still going. There's a lot of people that told me we'd be long gone, a year ago, and a flash in the pan and this and that. And, we're just getting started, which is, the fun part here. Now that I've been able to bring on, some tremendous talent to help, obviously, it's a real company. We're not going away.
You've used the analogy in the past, George, we're going to crawl, we're going to walk, we're going to run. Rob's not crawling. We're way past that. I'm not sure if you're in your full running stage, but you tell me, where are we at right now? In between walking and running, trotting, jogging? What do you think?
Well, I think part of it, George, like you said, a lot of this I don't control. I mean, there's so many outside factors with the way the markets, the world is, and everything. It's not the ideal conditions. I know that. We fought through it. We're getting through it. I'd say we're one of the few companies that's on the offense and continued on the offense, and with communications and deliverables and execution and that. I can't control all of that stuff. I don't control the share price, like a lot of people seem to think. I wish I did, but all I can control is what's in front of me. We make the best decisions we can day to day, week to week, month to month, and that mentality and approach is why we're here and succeeding.
Yeah, by no way, by the way, in case I wasn't even referring to share price, more just the business, where it's at, and that's in that crawl, walk.
Oh yeah, like I said, there, we were at an inflection point last January, as I said in the press release, and that there was a critical juncture as to now. I mean, I went through a lot last year. obviously, making tough decisions, letting a lot of people go, not easy to do, but to be successful long term, you need to make those hard decisions. And I've still maintained friendships with a lot of them, of course, which is great. But it's been a challenging few years per se, and I think we've done very well as to putting ourselves in a position to be able to run, as you like to call it. Where the run comes through automation and the tech stack, and we're not relying upon my size 14 shoes to run. It'll be all auto-generated, so don't worry.
I talked about you being an AI visionary. You're also a WalletPass visionary. And we're not just saying that as an empty platitude. You started acquiring WalletPass companies a couple of years ago. When, quite frankly, when you and I first started talking, I was like, WalletPass, yeah, I kind of I understand the concept, but I'm not going to be using that stuff. And you've been acquiring. Where are we going with WalletPass technology in terms of not just solutions as part of your overall solution, but what should we know at home about the role WalletPass technology is going to play in our lives, and as a result, the gaping market that's sitting there waiting for you?
Well, it is, and I think it's always been to me where the world is going digital. There was no denying that, and as I said, I was probably one of the first, if not to jump on that train in belief. When I started to look at this, the world of digital identity is going to happen, like it or not. But the WalletPass, George, isn't just about digital identity. It's about digitizing credentials. So for me, it's always about utility and value. If I go to a Toronto Maple Leafs game, for example, I've got, Ticketmaster that delivers and I can use it in my wallet. But then what, right? There's nothing that happens. I think you actually even
the Blue Jays last year.
Blue Jays, just that's right.
Sitting there doing nothing. Give me something else.
So it's the connectivity which, our systems at FOBIF provide that enable utility, engagement, and value. We can now attribute all of your spend through transaction, of course, through the wallet. We can encompass your parking voucher, whether it's the airport, your first class lounge, or your duty-free, incentive rewards programs. We bring it all together as one. And to me, that's where the utility and agility of which the wallet provides, obviously driven by Apple and Google. Those are two pretty big anchor tenant stakeholders in the tech industry, and providing that interoperability real time across systems. That's how we get into these conversations and plays, is that piece there. We're not going to replace Apple, of course. We're not going to replace Google, of course, but it's what we do with the platforms and services that they do provide to the market.
And that's important differentiator, right? I've seen a little bit of commentary on that. You're not competing with Apple and Google.
No, not at all.
You're just making that wallet way better.
Exactly. We're taking something that's static today, and we're creating real-time dynamic functionality across systems and platforms. We're bringing it to life.
Bring it to life. I love the way you say it. Because like I said, I went to the Blue Jay game, there was my ticket sitting there, and it didn't do anything else. I said, what a wasted opportunity. They've got me there in the stadium, and they did nothing. But that's why the mobile wallet market was at 220 billion in 2021, and scheduled to be just over 900 billion by 2030. So it's fair to say that your WalletPass leadership right now, are you happy with where you are, first of all, or are you going to keep, or is there more M&A coming, or anticipate M&A? And are you happy with how well you're positioned in terms of WalletPass technology right now relative to other players?
Well, I didn't hire a former M&A attorney out of New York for a reason. For us, I've always been looking for accretive tuck-in acquisitions. As you can appreciate, there's a lot of companies struggling due to financing inabilities and whatnot right now. And quite honestly, George, a lot of it isn't just about financing opportunities. A lot of it is about they want to be part of something bigger. They all understand that a wallet on its own, George, just like in our case, the way I position and sell it, a wallet is a commodity. A wallet is a race to zero. You're not going to make billions of dollars by selling wallet passes. It's what you do with the wallet. That's how we garner all of the, not just value, but revenue stream from it, is what are we doing with it? How do we create an experience? How do we create a redemption with attribution and data analytics and metrics for bringing all this together? So that's why the companies approach us all the time. I mean, I probably had 3 or 4 a day right now for the last 3 months solid for companies looking to be acquired. You know,
Yeah, because
a lot of,
they're not just looking for a liquidity event. I think it's important that you're saying that they're looking to be
Yep.
part of a bigger ecosystem to make their businesses bigger and help you grow your business bigger.
yeah, 100%. I'll give you an example of one. Rob, I think, you know, your historic trading average is 3.5 times where you are over the last 3 years. So I would get obviously 3 to 1 multiple on a potential acquisition. And then when I look at what we have as a business, I'm probably gauging another 4 to 5x with the capital markets difference that we can make as far as news and revenues. So there's a lot of smart people out there that understand the game. You know, and I think when we start to look at what we're doing, it just shows the relevancy of where we are today. You know, we've done all the heavy lift. You know, we're never going to be fully complete, as you know.
No,
We've got an amazing R&D team that has said a lot of this stuff and new products. So there's going to be a lot of new functions and features. And yes, we will do webinars to showcase some of these things and how they're being used today in live environment and whatnot. That information is always there. You know, Nathan has done a tremendous job from our production team about creating informative new content and these things. And we're seeing an evolution and change. I think that's where people ask me, you know, am I happy where I am today? It's a lot of fun right now because you see, you know, even our earnings calls every quarter, right? And then these are the things that people look at is you guys are acting, you know, and conducting your business now as you're already on the big board, and it's great to see, right? So I've always, you know, people go left, I always go right. And for me, I always look at how do I transform something. You know, we've tried to do this here in capital markets world, and you know, it's a big part of what we're providing on the Pulse side as well with the mobile communications and stuff, and you know, our Friday updates now that we have, and data on the trading side and podcasts and all this. To me, it's really what's kept the retention of our investors. I think that they're still
yeah, you're doing
updated.
it better than anybody, Rob. You really are, man.
Thank you.
Last question from the operations side, the business side. I know you kind of tucked in Cuples there a little bit. I don't think we've talked a lot about it lately, but you were a visionary there as well on digital coupons way before. I mean, they're obviously the standards were being discussed, but you know, they're still being discussed and rules were being put in place. Now you've got Cuples, and now it seems like the digital coupon world is starting its breakout party. Where are we going with the industry and Cuples specifically?
That's one that's I've always said it's an industry game changer. You know, I mean, I'm on record saying that can become one of our largest, if not the largest, path of revenue once it goes live at scale. You know, we're still the only company positioned as to clip and print, mobile app, wallet that delivers all of that. Obviously, when you plug in the real-time data side on the back end, you got a very compelling story there of activation and measurement. You know, it removes all the fraud. You know, you send me some pretty funny links that these crazy people that, you know, these $100 million fraud.
Well, that movie's coming out. I think I sent you that link. It's a movie coming out about 2 women who figured out. And Rob, I actually remember that. I remember, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, I started seeing all these stories. How to shop and spend and end up spending $4 after a full day of grocery shopping by becoming. I never did it, obviously, but I was like, wow, there's something going on in the coupon world. And it turns out it's a massive fraud, right? Yeah. And they made a movie out of it. And I sent that to you. I said, we should do a premiere together, either in Toronto or Vancouver, invite investors in to watch that movie. But it's the most important thing is it drives the point home that this industry is undergoing a paradigm shifting change.
Well, it's funny, George, because you know the coupon industry is as antiquated as it gets,
Yeah.
from to date. But if you think about what Brandy and the team at the Coupon Bureau built here with, it's basically that identity component to it, the verification that, I would argue is ahead of, once again, our government in these things is to, credentials and verification and whatnot. And that's a big part of why we built our Alt ID age verification KYC platform, because it plugs in nicely to any, whether it's HR onboarding experience, which is a great opportunity that we're going down the path of now and seeing great success, or you're using it for your vouchers. All these things plug into our FOBI cloud system.
Yeah,
so it's really endless for us, and I think this is this is our year for sure.
I don't know why, but I keep thinking about, and this is my own opinion, but I keep thinking about pupils. If it gets going the way we think it's going to get going, and we know the coupon world just has to go that way, so we're not to beat that to death. I could see that as a future spin out someday. I don't know, and again, that's just me saying that, but that could be a really big business on its own. Where's demand? You're targeting retailers, okay, so big retailers and big brands, big CPG brands. Who's more hungry for these solutions right now? Is it retailers? Is it CPGs? Or is it?
Well, for 8112, it's I would say it's both. It solves a pain point for everyone, right? It's the verification on the CPG manufacturer side of their marketing spend. Then it's the reconciliation of it all. Of course, now becomes near real time, right? So you're taking something that's traditionally sits on their liabilities and balance sheet is, for sometimes 6, 9, 12 months. So being able to convert that now, near real time is a huge, it's a game changer for them, quite honestly. So I think, I think the other side of it, George, too, is that, you mentioned spin out or some of these things. We would kind of look at it as, I don't think there's true appreciation for everything we have built yet. And we don't recognize the value for a lot of it, of course. So some of these vertically integrated approaches, is kind of you're alluding to, are most definitely something that we're considering and looking at. I've always seen us as enabling technology provider. It fits the model, and obviously it's with Colby here now. We're fully aligned on that, fully integrated, vertically integrated subject matter expert partnership model that brings a great deal of agility, and I think it's going to be an interesting summer.
You're wearing your Fobi swag there, and there's going to bring that up. Hadwin, you talked about it in the press release. What an amazing, first of all, what's just an epic moment, period. And I remember when you signed on Hadwin, I didn't know who he was. I'm not a big golf guy to begin with, but I didn't know who he was. And his stature's only grown and grown and grown since you brought him on as a Fobi partner. But man, what kind of serendipity was that to have him almost be the focal point of that epic finish with a 72-foot eagle putt, and he comes with the champagne, gets tackled. Everybody loves it. I think it's becoming a meme. How serendipitous is that? But what's that meant for Fobi from a branding point of view?
Well, it's been a great partnership from day one. Obviously, we launched a digital fan pass for Adam. We've garnered a great deal of value, of course, and it's amazing to me, quite honestly. It always, it's kind of pat on the back, if you will, how many people reach out and say, hey, I was at an event and I saw the logo on Adam, and or I downloaded his fan pass, and it's really amazing because like I said, I've always tried different angles and approaches to everything. I haven't seen too many small cap companies that have commercial partnerships with professional athletes and these things, and it's been a very good experience. It's a pretty cool event, obviously, at RBC. Adam holding out from 150 yards earlier.
That's right. I forgot about that. He holed out from 160.
Yeah, the tournament, and then his buddy, obviously from Abbotsford, Nick Taylor, with a fairy tale ending and the way it all happened. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Adam goes out and wins this week. It's just kind of the Matrix moment again, right? That everything seems to be falling in line. And, you know, I've always said from day one, good things happen, you're having fun. And there's a lot of fun things going on right now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of attention around it. In fact, you had record downloads on Sunday and Monday, right? I mean, I respond to RBC when it happened. They tweeted, I responded as FOBIF, and that tweet alone had 55,000 views. I think it's up to 55,000 views. I can't imagine what it did for you guys, Rob.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of eyeballs on us, George. You know, we're not in the most ideal conditions. It's very tough right now for everyone. You know, and like I said, I think it's I don't think the market's going to stay here forever. I think we're going to see a rebound here towards the end of the year, and you know, we're very well positioned on all fronts to take full advantage of all of that. So just continue doing what we do, and you know, fight as they say, and nose to the grindstone.
Well, I will add this to end it off, that maybe I've been around this industry maybe longer than you, but 2001 was a massive hit. 2008 was a massive hit. 2015 was Death Valley for the small cap world. And here we are, 2022, 2023. And what ends up happening, I mean, it's happened. I can't guarantee it's going to happen again, but there's a catharsis. You know, GeorgeCom Widgets gets pushed out the door because it was nothing more than just a press release promote thing. And then the real companies survive and then thrive, and then away they go. So I hope that's what happens again, because if it does, I would think that Fobi would have a reasonable chance of being part of that. And you can notice I'm trying to make sure I'm not giving out financial advice. That's why I'm conditioning all this. But you position yourself great, Rob. It's amazing. This corporate update, I think what it did for me, and I've always been a fan of Fobi from day one, when I discovered Loop Insights at 4 a.m, reading your deck and your website, and I called you the next day, said, you don't know who I am, but I think your technology is amazing. That's how we got a relationship started. And I've always been a fan, but this corporate update seemed like the one that for me is almost pushed the company to another level, because it's hitting on all cylinders now.
I think the one thing, George, I would add there, sir, up to you, but I think for me, it's always, you know, I think the mistake that everyone makes is, you know, CEO or founder per se, is that it's very difficult for most to let things go, you know, because as your baby, you put all your time and money and all these things into this, and they want to hold it close. And for me, I was never fearful of change or letting things go. I was just hoping that I could get through and, you know, weather the storm per se with the markets and stuff, and make all these changes and have everything work out, that I'd be in a position to be able to give away hats and let people take it and run with it. And it's amazing, like I said, to see what our team's doing now that, you know, I've been in a position to hire more people, because it's a real business now. You know, a lot of it early days, there's a lot of risk, because if something, God forsaken, had happened to me, we would have been in a world of hurt.
True.
Now the business runs without me, which is fantastic, because now I can spend my time on more of the strategy stuff and architecture and where we're headed. And I've got full confidence in the team. And I mean, that even goes with Ian Cameron. I mean, that was another, you know, Ian was our VP of marketing for a good couple of years here with me. And, you know, to see him transition now to basically run business development for APAC, you know, it just speaks volume, not just that of, you know, I've got full confidence in Ian. And these are the kind of moves that are exciting, because it is, you're right. This update here to me is our biggest by far. And it's not because of numbers. It's because this is a real business, and it's an evolution now into becoming a true enterprise business.
Well, it shines through, Rob, and congratulations. I think I speak on behalf of 98.5% of shareholders, because you can't make everyone happy, that you're doing great. And more importantly, 40 minutes. This is the longest I think you and I have done, except for one live event together. And the fact that you do this deep dive with everybody, and you take the time when most CEOs say they're busy and they can't, and you do this deep dive and explain all that, is awesome. And I think it's a big reason for your success. And thanks for doing it, man.
Yeah, no worries, George. I mean, to me, I've always answered the bell. I don't know how many people, like I said, I can't make everyone happy. I know that. I now I fully accept that. And, like I said, if people aren't happy, then, there's an offer in the quote that can take away all the headache. And, for me, I just focus on delivering to my team and to the market now. And I just can't make everyone happy. And it is what it is. I put a great deal of effort in communication. I take a great deal of pride in myself and in my team. And, I'm always on the front lines. I'm happy to take it between the eyes, as they say, and on the chin. And sometimes, I deserve it for sure. Other times it is what it is, and there's just trolls, and it's okay. I take it all. It's all, it's a good chapter in my book that'll be coming out next year, hopefully.
Really?
Yeah, I've been working on a book for the
No
last
way.
year.
I didn't know that. I don't think anybody knew that.
Yeah. So it'll be funny. Some good humor. I save everything. I literally save every message that I get on all platforms that are in relation to some of this comedy stuff. It's quite funny.
Well, look, remember Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, they had their share. Elon Musk, have all their share of critics, but that's what happens when you're a visionary at the end of the day.
Well,
Right.
George, I think, I'm just an average guy that works hard. I'm not a Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. Like I said, I just do my thing, and people either like it or they don't. And, I take care of everyone I can. And I think that's what people respect me for.
No, that's for sure, Rob. And like I said, 98.5% approval rating. I'll take that. That's anecdotal, but I'll take that anytime, my friend. Have a great day. Look, I can keep talking to you for another hour, but I'm assuming you've got calls lined up. You've got stuff lined up. So thanks, man. Thanks for joining us. For everybody at home, you've been watching or listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, your favorite podcast platform. To Rob Anson of FOBI, trades in Canada, FOBI, trades in the US, FOBIF. Get your, if you knew the story, do your initial research on Agoracom, then get over to the FOBI website, which is awesome, by the way, with all the videos and everything there. Go do your deep dive due diligence. If you believe in the future of artificial intelligence and you look for companies delivering, do a deep dive into FOBI. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next time. Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and then leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel so you don't ever miss another great Agoracom small cap video.